Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make those cute little ghosts that I just showed you a second ago, and they are so much fun to make. I love making plushies. I actually thought that I would never make them, but as soon as I started doing the crafts shows and the markets at the mall, I started noticing just how many people wanted them, so I started making a ton of them. And believe me when I say, if you sell at a market and you crochet or you knit, you're going to want to make plushies because they sell really well. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. For this project, you'll need white yarn, your choice, for worsted weight, a size H or 5mm crochet hook, polyfill of your choice, super glue, E6000 or hot glue, black felt, scissors, and a yarn needle, and you'll need a locking stitch marker as well. I'm going to use the I Love This yarn in the color white, just basic. I'm also using my size H or 5.0mm crochet hook by Clover. This is probably my favorite hook. I love this one so much. They do something to the shaft here that actually creates this very smooth effect when it goes through the yarn, so it's very nice to use. You're going to need to get some black felt, and you can really make the eyes whatever size you want for this plushie. It just depends on how big you want them, how small you want them, if you want a mouth. I am going to put eyes and a mouth on mine, so I'm going to make them probably about the size of a silver dollar, but I'm going to make them oval. And the mouth will be exactly the same, but it'll probably be about the size of maybe like a penny. So anyway, these I got over at Hobby Lobby. They were 25 cents a sheet, and I was able to get 2 sheets. So let's get started. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to do is make a slip knot. And this tail is not going to have to be very long because it's just going to be inside of the plushie anyway, so you can make it smaller if you want to. Don't waste any yarn. You don't have to. We're not going to be hiding it or cutting it. And then we are going to actually start making a circle. So what you want to do is, if you're new to making a circle, I'm not going to show you the magic loop method right now because I already have a video that shows you how to do it. But for this particular project, we're just going to go ahead and chain 2. And in that very first space right here, we are going to be working our entire row. So this stitch right here counts as the first single crochet. We're going to make a total of 8 single crochets in this round, this being the first one. So now we have to make 7 more. So down inside of this space right here, the very, very first one, we're going to make a single crochet, and we're going to count it as number 2. And do it again, number 3, and then keep doing it till you have 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now this tail, you should be able to pull it, and it should tighten that circle around for you. That works. Okay, now on the top right here, you'll see there's this little V right here. In that space, you're going to put your hook underneath those 2 legs of the V, like so. Grab your yarn, pull it through, and pull it through the loop here, and make a slip stitch. Okay, now you're going to chain 1, and in the same space right here where you just made that slip stitch, you're going to put a single crochet. Okay, that counts as 1. We are not counting the chain 1. In top of this V right here, so you'll notice you have this leg, that leg, that leg, and inside of this V right here, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Inside of this V right here, we are going to put our stitch marker right there. All right, and now you know where the beginning of your row is going to be. All right, so Now what we're going to do is make one more single crochet in that space, because in this round we are doubling every single space. So we're going to put 2 single crochets in each of the 8 spaces, giving us 16 total. So there's the first one. Now we're going to make another single crochet in the same space. Now we have 2. All right, now in the next space here, we're going to make 2 single crochets. In the next space, 2 single crochets. And then just keep doing that all the way around until you have 16. Okay, now here we are in the very last stitch. We're going to make the last 2 together. 1, 2. And then where your stitch marker is at, you're going to connect your row with a slip stitch. So put your hook under there into that same space where the stitch marker is at. Grab your yarn, pull it through, and make a slip stitch. We'll be able to fill this in a little bit better at a later time. So in fact, if you want to, you can go ahead and pull this piece through if it's not closing all the way for you. Pull it through this way, and then we'll use it with a needle, and we'll just close this up and tighten it. I think that's what I'm going to do for mine, because it's not closing like I want it to. Now we need to take this out, and we're going to apply it again here in a second. Chain 1. And just like we did with the last row, we are going to put a single crochet in that same space right here where we made the slip stitch. So go ahead and put 1 single crochet in there. As I said, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So in the top of that V, as I showed you here, you've got from the side, it looks like this, you've got this bar, and that bar here. So you've got the V up top. So find this bar and the one above it. That is a space that you're going to be putting your stitch marker. And then you'll go underneath those 2 legs of the V here. Close it up. And then we're going to make 1 more single crochet. And then we're going to count that as 2. In the next space over, we're only going to put 1 single crochet. So put 1 in that space there. In the next space, we're doing 2 single crochets. In the space after, we do 1 single crochet. And that's going to be the pattern. We have 2 at the beginning, then we have 1, then 2, then 1. And what you're going to do is in the next space, you're going to put 2, and then you're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around until you have exactly 24 stitches. Okay, here we are at the very end of the row, and I have 1 more space to work in. This very last space is going to take 1 single crochet. And then we're going to connect the row where the stitch marker is. All right, now you're going to chain 1, and in the very same space where you made the slip stitch, you're going to make 1 single crochet. And then you'll add your stitch marker. So as I said, you'll find the leg here and the leg here, and that is going to go right between the 2 and pick up both of those legs right there. Alright, so for this row we're going to have a different pattern. We are going to do, as we did the other rows, we're going to put another single crochet right in that space to make 2. So go ahead and make that single crochet. Now we have 2. And we're going to do 1 and then 1 single crochet. So we're going to make 1 single crochet in the next space, and then 1 single crochet in the next space. And that's the pattern. 2, 1, 1. And the next one we have 2. And then 1 and then 1. So that's the pattern: 2 1 1 2 1 1, and then the next one you'll put 2, and I'm going to go ahead and let you finish that round, and you will have exactly 36 stitches. Alright, so now we're at the end of the row, and we have 2 more spaces, and those 2 spaces are for 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet, because the one before it you have 2 in that one space. So that will give you the pattern: 2 1 1, and then the 2 that we started with. Alright, go ahead and put your last 2 single crochets in the spaces there, and then we're going to connect the row with a slip stitch. Okay, now we can remove the stitch marker. Now we have exactly 36 stitches. We're not going to do any more increases. From here on out, we're going to do row after row after row with 1 single crochet in each space. But we are going to chain 1 here and make 1 single crochet in that space. That counts as 1 stitch. And then again, you have the leg here and the leg here and the space between them where you're going to put your stitch marker. Right there. Okay, make sure you get up both of the legs of that V. And now we're going to put 1 single crochet in every single space around. And I'll let you guys go ahead and do that, and you're going to have exactly 36 stitches. Alright, so now I have 1 more space. I'm going to add that last single crochet, and then I'm going to attach the row with a slip stitch here. Alright, now we have 5 rows already made. We're going to make a total of 18 rows. So right now you have 5, and now you need to make 13 more. When you make your last 13th row, I will meet you back here. Okay, now we have our entire 18 rows, and now what we're going to do is chain 1, make a single crochet into the back loop. So instead of going through the space, you're going to go through the back loop of where that space is at. So right here, instead of going in here, we're not going to go through here. We're going to go through this back loop here. That one loop, okay? So grab that yarn, go through the back loop with your hook, pull the yarn through and make a single crochet there. And then let's go ahead and put our stitch marker in its place. Now we're going to work 1 single crochet all the way around in the back loop only of each space. And believe me, this is going to help us for later. So in the back loop of the next space here, 1 single crochet. Skip this one, go through here. There you go. So you're going to keep doing that all the way around through the back loops only until you have 32. I don't know why I said 36 earlier, but you're going to have 32 stitches. So go ahead and go all the way around in the back loops only till you have all 32 made. Okay, let's make the last few here together in the back loops. All right, and then we are going to join exactly where you see the stitch marker coming out of. We're going to go right inside there. Oops, right inside there if I can get it to go in. And then make your slip stitch. There we go. Okay, let's remove our stitch marker. All right, now we're going to make a decrease row. We need to chain 1, make a single crochet right in there where that space is at. All right, now we're going to place our marker. Okay. In the next space over, we're going to make 1 single crochet. That's 2. Now I want to help you understand why we're doing this. Remember in the row over here, that very last increase row, we had 2 together, which was the increase, and then we had 1 and then 1. Okay, that 1 and that 1 is now, we're going to put those 2 together on this row. So we're going to now do the decrease where we put those 2 together. Okay, so what we're going to do is take your hook, put it into the next space, get your yarn, pull up the loop, and then I want you to take your hook again, and in the next space over, I want you to put your hook in, grab the yarn and pull it through. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook. And now what you're going to do is pull that yarn all the way through all 3. And that is how you make a decrease. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next space, 1 single crochet in the next space, and then we're going to make it a decrease. Again, we put the hook through the space, grab the yarn, pull it through, and then we use the hook again in the space after, right here, grab the yarn, pull it through for 3 loops on the hook, grab the yarn and pull it through all of the loops. Okay, so we're going to continue with that pattern, and next what we're going to do again is put 1 single, 1 single, and then these 2 are going to be decreased. Let me do this with you one more time. 1 single crochet, next single crochet, and then we're going to decrease these 2 together. You have 3 loops. Grab your yarn, pull it through all 3. Okay, now I want you to do this all the way around. You're going to have the 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, all the way around until we get to the last couple over here, and then I'll come back and I'll do those with you. Okay, so here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 left, and this is where I just made a decrease here. So now I'm going to make a single, and these last 2 are going to be decreased together. So I have 1 single, 1 single, and then 1 decrease of these last 2 here, and then we're going to connect it to right where the stitch marker is at, with a slip stitch. All right, go ahead and remove your marker. Now this is where we start to fill up our project. You are going to need to have some polyfill. You are going to need to have some of this polyfill, or a brand of polyfill that you will use for this project. And I bought this stuff for this price. Where is it? And I bought this for this price at Hobby Lobby. And I think it's probably really the best place you're going to find it for that price. So I would get it there. Okay, I'm going to start out with about a handful, so this will actually fit when balled up into one hand. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and put this into my plushie. I'm going to start out with this much, and I'm going to see if I need more, because sometimes they just are not full enough, and it depends on how full you really want it. So if you pack it down and you think that you have enough room to put a little bit more, then go ahead and put more in. So I'm going to use a little bit more, about another small handful, until it's pretty packed. I don't want these to be too squishy, not too squishy. Okay, that's about right. So it's right about where it's barely sticking up out of the work itself. So I think that's pretty perfect. And you can kind of move this around like this and squish it and, you know, shape it and everything. So go ahead and do that, pack it in there. Now what we're going to do is finish this is right here, what we're making here is the bottom. So we want to close this bottom up, and we're going to do that by making our next row. So this is going to be another decrease row, but it's going to be similar to when we had the increase and then one, and then increase and one, and increase and one. So what we're doing is we're only putting one single crochet here, okay? That counts as one. Go ahead and put your marker back in. And then the next two we're going to decrease. So let's decrease these two here. All right. And in the next space we're going to do one single crochet. In the next two we do a decrease. The next one we put one single crochet, and then we make a decrease with the next two. Now if you're having a problem, kind of keep your fingers down inside here, keep pushing this down and push it away from the wall that you're working on here. That makes it much easier. Okay, so we just did a decrease. Now we're going to do one single crochet, and then we're going to do one decrease, one single crochet, one decrease, one single crochet, one decrease, one single crochet, one decrease, and now we have three more here, one single crochet and one decrease. All right, in this row you should have exactly 16 stitches. Now we're going to go ahead and connect this where the stitch marker is here. I just went and took mine out because it makes it a little easier to get in there. All right, now remember back here where we had to make an entire row of increases every single one? On this end we're going to make decreases every single one. So go ahead and make your go ahead and chain one. Now what we're going to do is, instead of putting a single crochet in here, what we're going to do is decrease this one and this one together. So put your hook in, grab the yarn, pull it through, and then go into the next stitch over and do the same thing and pull through all three loops, and then you have a decrease. Now you still have the little area here to put your stitch marker in, so go ahead and put it in there so that you can see where you're going to connect at the end of this row. And in this row you are going to have exactly 8 stitches, and then when we finish this row we'll be finished. So let's go ahead and decrease this next one, decrease the next one, decrease again, decrease, whoops, come on now, come on yarn, work with me today. Okay, decrease again, decrease, decrease, and we have 2 more here, and then we do one last decrease, and then over here we just connect. I'm going to take this out because it's making it difficult. Get up underneath there and connect with your slip stitch. All right. Now let's go ahead and get out the scissors. You don't need a really long tail on here, but you want something long enough to work with. So go ahead and pull your yarn through that loop. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and put your yarn through the yarn needle end here. All right, and then we're just going to go ahead and catch every single space here with our needle. Like you're going to sew it up, but you're not sewing it up. You kind of are, but this will make it look finished. So get up underneath every single one of them. Count 8. And you can kind of see where your line is here. Going up here, you kind of know when you have your last one. I'm going to go up one more here just to be sure, be safe. And then pull it tight. Okay, that should have absolutely no gapping in it. If you pull it tight enough. Don't pull too tight where you tear your yarn, because that'll suck. All right, let's see. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and make a knot. We always want to make sure we knot these. We do not want these coming out. All right, so one should be fine. And then what I like to do is I take this and I kind of just put it through a space, and I come up through one of the other spaces like this with the needle, and I hide that yarn inside the polyfill. It makes it so much easier. Plus, when you pull it, it kind of pulls this inward so that you have more of a flat bottom. So then I'll do this again. Sometimes I snip off the yarn, and sometimes I actually just hide it inside the work. Now where your strand is coming from here, you want to go back through that space, leaving about 1 centimeter between the strand and your new entry point. When you find that spot, take the yarn back through and just keep doing this until it's hidden well. So now that it's through and I've brought it through the bottom here, I'm going to go ahead and pull it down and in, and you'll see it kind of disappear in here. Okay. And then you'll want to do the same thing here. Kind of go in here, real close to where the yarn was coming out of, and push it through again. Okay, and I think that's good. If this happens, just get your needle and pop it back up a little bit, kind of even it out. Okay, so now with the butt end, the eye of your needle, you can actually push this yarn down inside the work and hide it right inside there like that, and no one will be the wiser. Okay, now what we need to do is make the little floaty part across the bottom of the body, and that's the reason that we crocheted in the back loops only, because we wanted to have this little ridge that you can see really well here. We're going to be working through those loops all the way around, and we are going to create that little scalloped edge. So go ahead and get your yarn, and you're going to find the area where that seam is here, and right up underneath that first one, and put your hook. Grab that yarn, pull it through all the way, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a knot here. Tie it down so that it doesn't come off. There you go. Maybe you have a better way of doing it. That's how I'm going to do it, because I'm selling this at the market, so I want to make sure it's nice and tight. Alright, so back in the same space where you brought the yarn through, go back in there, grab your yarn, and pull it through. And then you're going to chain 1, and then we're going to make a single crochet in the next space over. In the next space, we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1, 2. In this space next to it, we're going to make one single crochet and then another single crochet in the next space. Then in the next space, we're going to put 2 double crochets. 1, 2. In the next space, we're going to put 1 single crochet and then 1 single crochet in the next space. In the next space, 2 doubles. 1, 2. In the next space, 1 single and 1 single in the next space. In the next space, we have 2 doubles. 1, 2. In the space next to it, we have 1 single and 1 single in the next. In the next space, we have 2 doubles. 1, 2. In the next space, we have 1 single and 1 single in the next. Then in the next, we have 2 doubles. 1, 2. And then we have 1 single in the next. Make sure you're working through the one loop that's raised. Don't work in 2 different loops. You want to make sure you're working right along the ledge here. So we have 1 single and we have 1 more single in the next space. Okay, in the next space we have 2 doubles. 1, 2. And then in the next space we have 1 single and then 1 single in the next. In the next space we have 2 doubles. 1, 2. In the next space we have 1 single and then 1 single in the next. And we're almost done. Now in the next space we have 2 doubles. 1, 2. In the next space we have 1 single and then 1 single in the next. In the next space we have 2 doubles. 1 and 2. And then we have in the next space 1 single and then we have 1 single in the last. Now this is the last space. This little hump right here is part of this seam ridge thing you have going on right here. You're going to pass over that part. So we're going to put that final single crochet right there, and then we're going to connect all the way over here to the very first single crochet that you made right there. Actually, let's get underneath that leg. And that will, oops, that's going to do it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and snip off our yarn. Leave a decent sized tail. Not too big, not too small, not too long. Okay. Go ahead and grab your working yarn. Let me get this tail out of the way. And go ahead and pull it through that space. Now I want to take the tail and the one I just worked with, and I want to tie them off. Okay? I don't have to do it twice, just tie it off once, as that's enough. And then you're going to get out your needle again, and we're going to hide these ends. So go ahead and yarn up your needle here. Oops. Okay, and go ahead and hide your yarn. Now this is a little tricky because you can kind of see it here. You don't want that to be seen, so try to go into a space, maybe like right underneath that knot, and pull that yarn underneath there. That way you can kind of maneuver it downward and into the work. Give yourself a little bit of grace on that. Okay, and then just start weaving this around and through so that it gets into the polyfill on the inside, and just keep hiding it till it disappears on you, and you'll be all done. Now, if you don't want to keep hiding it, that's fine. You can push it in there, or you can snip it off with your scissors. That's totally your choice. I'm going to go ahead and hide this in here like so until it's gone. Now it's inside the polyfill and nobody will know it's there. And we're going to do the same for this one. And when you get done with hiding this one, I will meet you back here and we're going to do the eyes and a mouth if you want. So I'm going to put, as I said, I'm going to put 2 eyes and a mouth on mine. And you can make your eyes really big and just put eyes on there if you want, or you can do what I'm doing. So go ahead and hide your thread, and I will see you in a second. Now, if you're just watching this video to see how this is done and you want to follow along, go ahead and go to the description, and I will have all of the items that I used here today in the description listed and where I bought them, so you can go grab them too. If you've waited to make the project, then at least you'll have a full list of what you need to go pick up. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make, I only need 1 of these sheets. Okay, so I need to make some pretty good circles. Let's see. I think what I want to do is do it. Remember how we used to fold paper and we'd make hearts that way? I think I'm going to do the same thing here, except instead of giving it a heart shape, I'm going to make it fully round. And the best way to do that is to make a nice, big, wide circle. And remember, we're making an oval for the eyes. So you want them to go down kind of far. Let's see how that looks. That's a little bit big. It's a little bit big. So let me see here. I'm going to cut this down just a tad. So not quite as wide. Don't need it quite as wide. But we are going to keep the length on that, hopefully. Let's see. That's a pretty good oval. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that's much better. So I think I like that. I think I'm going to clean this up a little bit on the side here, make it a little bit more oval instead of so much teardrop. When I get it the way I want to, I am going to use this as a template, actually. This is a little bit squared off at the bottom, which I don't really like. So I'm going to round this out a tad. There we go. I think that might be good. I think that's good. What do you think? So that means now that I have to use probably a pencil or something. I'm going to set it down here in the bottom. And I'm just going to take a pencil and I'm going to trace. I think I can I see that? No, I cannot see that. I'm going to grab a Sharpie pen here and I'm going to see if I can get the Sharpie pen to stand out a little bit. Yeah, that I can see. Okay. So go ahead and with whatever you're going to make this with, you could even just use a piece of paper, put it on a piece of paper and draw trace it on the paper and then cut the paper part out and then use that as your template for your eyes and for your mouth for that matter. So that should do it. And yeah, I can see that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it fine. So I'm just going to cut around the inner part of that circle there that I made. And you know what? The eyes don't have to be perfect, you guys. They don't have to be exactly alike. I don't think ghosts have eyes that are 100% the same on both sides. So even if they're a little bit different shaped, I mean, that's not going to matter. And that they're cute. Okay, so I know that I like this one better. This one's a little longer, so I'm going to go ahead and snip off the bottom of that one. Round this out a little bit down here. And you might have to do a little tweaking, and it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Like Bob Ross used to say, happy little trees. These are happy little eyes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that like that. I think, let me see, how do I like them? Place them where you want them. I think I'm going to do a little black mouth down here. Okay, I am using the E6000 that I got at Hobby Lobby. I've actually had this a while. So, alright, let's go ahead and get some on the eyes here. We definitely want to make sure it's around the edges. And don't put it on too thick because this stuff is messy. Okay, let's go ahead and stick. Make sure your seam is in the back. And let's go ahead and stick the eyes on there where we want them. Okay. And that should just stick to the yarn. No problem. And then we're going to do one more over here. Doesn't take a whole lot. This stuff is pretty powerful. Put the lid right back on because it's going to ooze out. And then we're just going to go ahead and put our other eye here. Like I said, you can place it wherever you want to. But then you have your little ghosty. Now, if you want to put a mouth on, that's cool. You could do, like, say something like this. That would be kind of cute. I kind of like him, actually. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's part of the one that I cut out. So there was a bunch of cutouts from the felt that I didn't use. I mean, you could just, you know, do that way. Or you can embroider the mouth on if you want to and go however you want. I like the idea of having a very thin mouth. I was going to do a circle, but I think I'm not going to do that. You could give him a little bit of a crooked, like, what is that? A little crooked look there. That's kind of cute. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use this tiny little smile down here. I like him. I got some more of this stuff, this stuff oozed out on my desk, so I'm going to use it, and it's going to be on my fingers, but that's okay, I don't care. And then we're just going to put it on here. I don't care how it goes on. I don't care how it looks. I just want it there. He's cute. I like him. Okay. That's really cute. What do you guys think? Well, anyway, there you go, guys. That is how you make a ghost plushie, at least coming out of my brain. That's how it works. They're super cute. These are going to be at the market this year that I'm going to be selling at over in Peoria, Arizona at Liberty High School every Sunday from the 22nd of October until the second of the last week of December, because on December 31st, which is also a Sunday, we are not going to be open over there. So anyway, these guys will be there definitely for the Halloween season. You could put like a little witch hat on this guy. You could do some cute stuff. So there you have it. I hope you guys liked today's tutorial. Please leave me a comment below. If you have any questions, please let me know. And remember to go to the description of this video to get all of the different products that I used for this project. And I will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great week. Until then.